I'm
I'm
upset.
upset.
What's going
What's
on,
going
sir?
on today?
Not much. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So introduce yourself. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't even know we were live.
We're live.
I'm Ryan, Week Zero Productions for Ville. The host with the most. In this case, the co-host with the most. Um,
Absolutely.
the only one here trying to keep Phil's "Go Blue" propaganda out of the media because it's nonsense. It's nonsense. That's what it is.
Um, yes, and I am the Maze Madman. You're on the Maze Madman channel. We welcome all of you. And we are upset. We got some things to talk about though. Ryan, we're gonna kick this thing off with some recruiting before we get real quick. I'm gonna run down what we're gonna talk about today. We're talking about Notre Dame recruiting. We're gonna talk a little bit about Michigan recruiting. I heard some interesting things today, actually, from a credible source about Michigan basketball, and it's not great. So I want to warn everybody about that. And then, secondly, or lastly, we're going to get on ESPN and their faulty FPI rankings. Um, and it's clear that someone at ESPN either went to the other state or knows or is married to someone that went there or something like that because they have a clear bias. Anyway, sounded like little brother already, man. Shout out to my guy Antoine Johnson, by the way. He was
Oh,
giving
wait,
me a
wait, wait, wait,
couple.
wait, wait. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Is he talking about little brother, like we're Michigan State's little brother?
Yeah, yeah.
Can we talk? Okay, first of all, we are Michigan State's not little brother, big brother, because you know why? Because Michigan State doesn't have a winning record against us.
That's fair. That's fair. And
So,
you know what's funny is I just tweeted this, and if you go check my Twitter at Maze Madman, by the way, for the people that are watching live, I just responded to a crazy person, a Notre Dame fan, who was saying that they have a winning record against the Big Ten, and I pointed out that they have a losing record to Michigan and even the other
well, no,
states.
okay. So they have a losing record to Michigan and Ohio State.
Right.
However, the losing record to Michigan since 2000, it's 9-8 in Michigan's
Yeah.
favor. So it's not like we're not out here talking about like Michigan's blowing Notre Dame out of the water. They pretty
But they
much
are.
split every other year.
We beat you
That's
45-14 or something like that. The last
and then
time we
we'll beat
played.
you guys 38-0 or something like that. Just yeah, you know.
That was the one before that.
But no, man, like Notre Dame does have a winning record against teams not named Ohio State and Michigan. They
Yeah.
dominate the Big
I
Ten.
appreciate you for clearing that up, by the way. Because you guys did take advantage. You for years you've been taking advantage of Lil Bro them and Purdue and the likes, and we appreciate you. Thanks for cleaning that up for us. But anyway,
Oh, don't! You're not going to talk about the fact that we have a winning record against Penn State too, as well.
oh that's fair, and that's a good that's solid.
Now we don't
Penn
play
State,
them very much, but
right,
that used to be a
and-
rivalry. People don't know that. That used to be a rivalry back in the day.
right, because Penn State was an independent as well, right? So good history, good bit of history here. See, you come to the Maize and Blue and Gold show, you get some history. We hitting you with some knowledge. A L is a L. He does have to hold that. Um, and as far as our rivals go, before we get into this, as it stands right now, Michigan has the last win over Northwestern, has the last win over the other state, Little Brodnum, Notre Dame, and Minnesota. And we just started a new rivalry with Nebraska. We got that trophy as well. We're good. We clear
I
all
will say, Phil, the fact that you guys went 9-8 against Notre Dame since 2000
right.
is actually pretty is not that impressive just because of how bad Notre Dame was early in the early 2000s. Like that I'm just saying I'm not trying to take anything. I'm just saying that's you guys probably should have had more wins
I mean, we've had
with
some
how
lean
bad
years
we
ourselves.
were. I mean, When did the downturn start for Michigan football? Was it like 2007? Was that when it
Yeah, I'd
started?
say whenever Appalachian State beat us, that was the beginning of
That's
the
the
end.
point of no return.
Right, right, yeah.
By
Shout
the
out
way,
to
gotta say
Seth,
your boy Denard or not Denard. Who did I see this weekend? I sent you the
quarterback,
picture. He's
old quarterback.
yeah, Devin
Uh,
Gardner.
yeah,
Your boy Devin Gardner out here looking nice.
yeah, man. He's sounding good too. He's sounding good. He's looking good.
He
You
looks
know.
different. I
Yeah.
didn't recognize him at first.
Oh look, here we go. What's wrong about his record?
I'm
Oh, he knows
confused.
that. He knows what that score was. He knows it very well.
No, we're not gonna talk about it. It was played in a typhoon.
Uh,
Let's not talk about it.
we had to play in the
Um,
same conditions.
we started the game off with a pick, and then decided to fumble the pick away on the return. So you guys had that game won at that point.
Right. All right. Let's get into what we came here. Absolutely, Chris. Go blue. Let's get to what we came here. You've got some Notre Dame recruiting news for us. Hit us over the head.
So first, before we get into that, actually, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about topics for the show.
Yeah.
Caleb Smith, who was one of the prize gets in the transfer portal for Notre Dame. You know, the sixth-year wide receiver from Virginia Tech,
Yep.
who was the leading receiver for Virginia Tech the last 2 years. Medically retired from football. Is no longer with Notre Dame. And you know, people not non Notre Dame fans were like, "Oh, well, your wide receiver room's gonna suck because he was gonna start for you guys and blah 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 blah." And of course, those people don't know what they're talking about because the reason why Caleb Smith medically retired was because the depth chart came out for the spring game
Yeah.
for first and second team. Caleb Smith's name was not on that first team. I'll tell you who was.
Who-
Tobias
let us know.
Merriweather. Tobias Merriweather, who's a redshirt freshman,
He
6'5"
doesn't deserve
receiver.
to be on that list. How is he a
Yep.
redshirt freshman? Didn't he
Because
play?
he only played in 4 games last year.
Okay.
Then we got Deion Colsey. He's in there. As well as why am I messing up his name? Jaden Thomas. He's up there as well. And then a surprise that made the first team is true freshman Rico Flores Jr. Made the first team. He beat out Lorenzo Styles, Caleb Smith, and all the other wide receivers in that room for the first team spot.
Right.
For a freshman, especially at Notre Dame does not play a lot of true freshmen. No matter how talented you are, you have to prove that, you know, I'm sure it's like that at Michigan as well. You can be a 4-star,
for
5-star
sure.
receiver. You don't just get on the field because of that.
Absolutely.
So for Rico Flores as a true freshman, to get that, you know, starting spot is very impressive for a kid that's only been on campus for a few months and has only been doing spring ball for a month.
Right.
So, you know, Caleb Smith was a good guy that you wanted, like a veteran in the room. But I'd rather have a guy that has the higher upside. And let's be honest, if a true freshman can go in there at 18 years old and beat out a 23-year-old, 6th-year senior, that's impressive. That's really impressive. So, wanted to say that, you know, Rico Flores is going to be a stud. Let's just hope that, you know, Freeman actually gives him some snaps and actually has Hartman throw him the ball. Because Tobias, you know, he's in the starting lineup for the first time. He should have been in it last year because everybody was saying how he was the best receiver in the room and only gets one catch for a 60-yard touchdown against Stanford. And I think he got a total of like 16 snaps all year. And he had one target. So, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, going to the recruiting, you know, Notre Dame got 2 crystal balls in yesterday, actually.
Okay.
For 2025 corner Cree Thomas, who is, funny enough, same high school as Benjamin Morrison. So Notre Dame walk there. They were best friends in high school. As well as wide receiver Jason Robinson, who I told you, he's a 4-star receiver out of California, played for Cal Poly, one of the top California high schools
Right.
in the state. Weirdly enough, he was a USC legacy. His dad played at USC. His family are all USC fans, so I'm sure it hurt them to hear when he decommitted from the Trojans and is looking like he is going to commit in the next few weeks to Notre Dame. So, love taking, a valued prospect away from Lil Bro over in California. So, that's always good. And then the final guy I want to talk about was Isaiah Canion. He's now a top 100 receiver from Georgia. I think he's the 94th player in this class, number 16 receiver for 2024. Really flashy kid. Dude can flat out ball. His recruiting has taken off. He's got offers from Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame. I don't know if Michigan's offered him yet.
We probably didn't, or he'd probably be
but
a Michigan guy for sure.
Weirdly enough, his top schools, even though he's got Alabama, Georgia, Florida's in there as well, his top schools are Notre Dame, Duke, Virginia Tech, and I think Penn State. Which is kind of weird. So
Sounds
maybe
like he's running from rec.
Hey man, maybe he just wants to go work. Actually, go to a place that doesn't have a bunch of 4 and 5 stars.
That's fair. Well, yeah, because Notre Dame makes sense then.
Yeah, but no, man. Like, I'm excited. Notre Dame usually gets a bunch of commitments to pop right after the spring game. Last year, I told you, after Notre Dame's spring game, we popped 14 commitments,
Right.
Which was the most of any team during that month. So, I don't know, man. I'm excited. We can also talk about the fact that this kid that I've never heard of until the other day, 4-star receiver Josiah Brown from Alabama. He's from Hicksville. Has released a top 7. Penn State, Michigan, Georgia, Florida, Notre Dame, Alabama, and Rutgers. Everything I've seen looks like he's going to Bama. Not going to bash the kid, but academics is not his strong suit. So that looks like that's why he's going to go to Alabama.
Just really quick, make sure you like the live. If you're watching now, share it on your social media. I do want to bring up something, especially this is something that bothers me too, even as a Michigan fan. Josiah Brown, who you're just talking about, who released his top, would you say 7 or 10?
Top 7.
Because I saw that as well. And Michigan and Notre Dame were both included in that top 7.
And from my understanding, Notre Dame and Michigan aren't even heavily involved in his
right,
recruitment.
and that's going to be the point here. When kids like that release a top 7, and the fan base, or you know what I mean, even the insiders aren't really talking about those kids or have knowledge of them, speaking with the other schools. I just feel like, is that more so just to make the list look better? Or is that something where like they just plan maybe down the road to maybe speak with Notre Dame or Michigan or whoever?
Well,
it is
if you want your list to look better, why the hell is Rutgers on there? Let's be honest.
We need a sound effect for that because
no, man. Like I think with
can you hear that, by the way?
What?
If I play,
I cannot. It's the echo cancellation, I believe.
Okay, all right.
But with kids like that, I think him specifically, because Notre Dame's not really recruiting him that much. Michigan Not really much either. I think no, they said Notre Dame hasn't talked to him in over a year. So he's definitely one of the. He's not. I'm not saying he's not a good player because obviously if you're going to Alabama, you got some talent. But I think for him at least, it's more of maybe he's trying to get more attention from Notre Dame and Michigan. We've seen a lot of kids recently. I'm sure you've seen it as well. A lot of 5-star and high 4-star kids start pumping out these top sevens, top eights, top
Right.
tens,
Yeah.
and guys that Notre Dame and Michigan weren't involved with. Because let's be honest, Notre Dame and Michigan they're selective with the 5-star kids they go after. Because let's be real, Notre Dame and Michigan this is no hate to our teams, but they're just not Georgia and Alabama in terms of getting 10 5-stars in a class.
Right.
So Notre Dame and Michigan have to be very selective of which ones they go and which of these kids fit at Michigan or Notre Dame respectively. So I think we started to see, which is weird, this year in the 2024 and 2025 class, a lot of these 5-star kids start to include Notre Dame and Michigan. Some of these kids don't even have offers from Notre Dame or Michigan. And there's been a couple 5-star kids that have came out recently and said, hey, I wanted to go take official visits to Michigan and
Here we
Notre
go with the
Dame.
money.
I want to go, to see. I want to go see Michigan and Notre Dame. And a lot of these insiders are like, what? Like, we have you going to Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State. Where's this coming from?
Right.
Like, you don't even have an offer from them. Well, I like what Marcus Freeman's doing over there, and I'd like to go see Notre Dame. Oh, Jim Harbaugh's won back-to-back Big Ten champs. I want to go see them too. You start seeing a lot of these kids now who once before were like it was Alabama, Georgia, or Ohio State or bust. That's a testament to what Notre Dame and Michigan are doing, recruiting wise. They don't even have to offer these kids, and so these kids are wanting to go seek them out and go see the campuses and go on these
People are,
OVs,
yeah.
which
People in
that's
the
that's really
comment
good.
section are jumping ahead. Jason Moose. Wait 1 second. I'm gonna get to what you just had to say. But Michael Campbell says Notre Dame makes too much money to join a conference. You don't tell your boss to become an employee. Stop asking in all caps. Um, I don't even know how to respond to that. Um, sure, keep making your money then, I guess, and play the ACC. Whatever, that's cool. Uh, really fast though, Jason Moose says this, and Ryan, we spoke about this. In fact, we were gonna talk about it on the show today. Georgia is expected to land Raiola and Wingo. Um,
That's crazy to me.
it is very crazy. That will give them 4 because I think Florida State just flipped the tight end, the 5-star tight end. So it will give Georgia 4
So
5-stars.
let me go ahead on this Ryan Wingo stuff because
Yeah,
he was predicted to Notre Dame
I remember
a
that.
year ago. Was saying all the right things. He's best friends with Jeremiah Love, best friends with Cam Williams, best friends with CJ Carr. Looked like it was going Notre Dame, especially with the way Notre Dame's been recruiting St. Louis
Right.
recently, which is crazy. Uh, I think with him, and I don't know, man. To me, it's money because Georgia, Wingo was a kid that wanted to stay close to home. He's all about family. He's a high academic kid, high IQ kid, really big Notre Dame fit. Hasn't been to Notre Dame in a long time since he went to the Clemson game, which has been a red flag. Obviously, Notre Dame is still in the mix, but like you said, Georgia's looking like he's gonna end up there. And this is the thing that's annoyed me about these SEC teams, specifically Georgia and Alabama. They do it to Notre Dame. They do it to Michigan a lot as well. Notre Dame or Michigan will be leading for these 4 or 5-star kids that Georgia and Alabama might overlook at first and not being heavily involved in the recruitment. And all of a sudden, it's so annoying because Georgia can come out of nowhere and be like, "Hey, Ryan Wingo, I know you're looking to go to Notre Dame. Here's a $5 million NIL deal." Like that.
Right.
That to me, it's like that's why NIL needs to be structured. There needs to be somebody overlooking them because it's just not fair, man. It really isn't. It's not fair to Michigan and Notre Dame, who NIL wise cannot keep up with Georgia, or not even keep up with them, but just I'm sure Michigan believes it as well that
Yeah.
they look at NIL as a not like necessarily a dirty concept, but they don't believe in paying kids before they step foot on campus, which I don't think
Right.
that's very wrong. I think that these kids don't deserve a paycheck until they get to campus and they step foot on the field, because otherwise you're
Well,
just paying kids to come to your
I
school.
wanna I wanna speak on this too because I do feel like there is a level of like I don't know if it's fair to say that they don't deserve whatever before they get there, right? Because
What
for
the thing is,
years
what have
we
these
know.
kids done? What have these kids done on a collegiate
Well,
level to deserve this
no, I
money?
understand that part. I understand that part of your argument, right? But the point is, for years, right? Schools, Notre Dame and Michigan are not exempt from this either. Have been making money off the backs of these kids for longer than we've been alive, right? And the fact that now they can demand there's a market for their services. I'm not really mad at. Now, what uh, takes place like individually between these universities, and obviously Notre Dame and Michigan have taken a stance on not paying you to come here because the money will be made, or once you're here and your brand is
Hmm.
built that way. That's been pretty
The
much the
way I
stand.
look
I
at it,
I
Phil,
know
and
that from
tell me if you
Michigan.
agree. The way
Yeah.
I look at it is this: if I have to pay a kid
Right.
to want to come to Notre Dame, then that kid really doesn't want to be there.
I mean, I don't
Like,
know if that's necessarily fair either. Look, there are kids who probably didn't go to Notre Dame that wanted to go to Notre Dame. This Wingo kid is probably one of those kids, right? He probably wants to be at Notre Dame. Like you said, he's best friends with the quarterback that you guys have, CJ Carr. He's best
Jeremiah
friends with
Love.
other players on that team. He's had a good relationship with the coaching staff there, from what I can tell, and I'm sure he wants to go there. That being said, money does talk. And if Georgia, like you said, says, "Hey, here's a check. Come over here, play with us, and we win championships." By the way,
But that's also
that's pretty
illegal.
enticing,
That's technically illegal by the NCAA's laws of NIL. That is illegal. You cannot do that.
right?
Which it like we see in this stuff with Drake May, and that's why me personally, I respect Drake May a ton after him turning down. Did you see the numbers, like the figures that came out that Alabama was offering Drake May to leave
Moose, this
North
is a good.
Carolina?
I did see that. Moose, this is a
Like,
good point, and I'm going to touch on this too after Ryan speaks about money at these universities, especially universities like Notre Dame and Michigan. But go ahead, Ryan.
um, no, like I'm sure you saw the numbers. I have a hell of a lot of respect for Drake May, and I wish there were more kids like him because he got asked about it, and I believe he said, "I picked North Carolina the first time. I picked North Carolina for a reason over other schools. You can offer me as much money as you want. I'm not leaving North Carolina."
Right.
Why
But
can't
look,
more kids be like that? Like, why? That's
well, everybody's so okay, and this is where we have to be fair to. First of all, these are high school kids, all right. And I know Drake May isn't right; he's been in college for a while. But everybody's socio-economic situation is different. Everybody's, you know what I mean. If you are a kid from hell, Detroit,
what was Peyton Bowen's excuse. He came from a rich family.
I mean, look, there. What's the head of Microsoft now? I forget his name. It's whatever. What's Bill Gates? What's and that's not who I was trying to think of, by the way. But what's his reason for still wanting to get more money? Right? It's money. It's capitalist. It's a capitalistic society we live in. So I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole though. But I do want to address what Les Austin Jr. here says. Top grossing universities, yes, and that is in football. These
That
universities
is
here.
money making, correct?
Exactly. However, that is still small change when you look at the endowments of the University of Michigan. That's like Um, and you look at the endowment of Notre Dame, it's they're blowing the doors. That's like $17 billion with a B, right? In endowment for these universities. So if you, Notre Dame and Michigan could definitely, if they wanted to, buy all of college football. All these players that we're
Did I
talking
did I
about,
send you
they
did I
could
send
afford
you
that.
the thing by the way about On3 came out with an article uh, with the amount of money NIL money that teams spent in the 2023
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
Did you see who the top teams were?
Yeah, yeah.
Alabama, Texas,
Well, that wasn't
Georgia.
NIL though. That wasn't
That
NIL
was
money.
that was money that they
Right.
spent on
Recruiting.
recruits.
Right. Or
Yes,
recruiting. I want to be clear because Michigan was pretty high
recruiting.
on that list as well. But that could be for the
Notre
travel
Dame
and all
wasn't
of
even
that,
top
right?
20.
Yeah,
Notre
because
Dame.
you guys, when you hit the road, you stay at Holiday Inn. We
No,
like to
because you know
stay.
why? We need to bribe kids to come Notre Dame.
You stay at the Motel
But let
Six.
me say
That's
this,
you
like,
saving
and
money there.
this will be my last point on this
Penny
because we're
pinch.
kind of going a little off
Yeah,
topic
yeah,
here, but
we are going on this one.
I just think what NIL was supposed to do was not what it has turned into.
I agree.
NIL has gotten out of control. The NCAA is not going to do anything about it because they don't ever do their jobs, unless it's Jim Harbaugh giving a kid a hamburger. Um, this was just so
Right.
annoying.
Great point,
Uh,
Antoine. That's the point I was making. But
um,
part
but
of the
no,
point I was
like
making.
I think it is also really bad for the sport with how it is now.
Yes,
We've
it's
seen
because it's
what
kind of open. It's too open right now.
because look what happened at Texas A&M. That is the key point. Best recruiting class in the history of college football, and it wasn't even
Right,
close. I think they paid somewhere upwards of 50 million
right.
for those kids, and 30 of those kids, like 30 kids from that team, are now in the transfer portal. I think almost that entire class is in the portal
Yeah,
because you know why? Those kids found out that hey, I got the paycheck, but it's toxic here. Jimbo Fisher is a terrible coach. It's toxic. It's a
whoa.
toxic work environment.
Hey, it's
You know,
25 people in here. We don't have 25 likes. Let's get those likes up.
but that's what I'm saying. Like those kids that committed to Texas A&M
Doesn't cost you a
committed
penny to
for
be a
the
little friendly.
they committed for the bag, and it screwed them over and screwed them out of a year of eligibility because they didn't go to a place that they wanted to go to. They
Facts,
went to a
Moose.
place that gave them the most money, and that look how that turned out for them.
Right.
You know,
So yeah, I mean, look, the point, the bottom line is this: the NIL is, and I'm sure it's going to go through several machinations until they, perfect this thing. But right now, it's broken, right? And like you said, it's not being used for what it was meant to be used for. I like what teams, and I know it's a homer pick, but what Michigan is doing with their Hail Impact collective, right? Where the plan is to get to a point where all the student athletes get a $40,000 salary, and then you can do whatever you want, with your NIL, uh, with your name, image, and likeness outside of that as well. So I think that's the key, man. Getting to a point, and 40,000 might be a little steep for some universities. I understand that it may not be enough for other universities. If every and that's up to the kids to decide too, and up to those universities individually to decide. But if everybody, right now it's just a muck that is being ran. Um, I cannot resist. That's a fact.
okay. And when was the last time Michigan won a title?
More recently than that.
Yeah, still 2 decades ago, more than 2 decades ago.
Man, I don't like how all the shade, man. I'm just
Hey
pointing
man,
out
people
what
didn't
the
give
people are
Georgia
saying.
people didn't give Georgia smack for not winning a title since before '88.
Shout
So
out to everybody who just joined. We're up to 32. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Be sure to subscribe to Week Zero. My guy right here, you see it. Week Zero Productions, Ryan
Sir.
Frabble.
And we will be live on Friday talking some more spring games as well
I will
as
be live on Friday as well. So I'll be
ooh.
back. You'll see me and all my Michigan
I will
glory
not I will not be
Friday.
live, but the boys
Oh,
over
okay.
at Weeks Zero Productions will be. So like I said, go over there and check them out. If you
For
like what me
sure.
and Phil do, they're chill. We got an Oregon fan, a Virginia Tech fan, and a Kentucky fan over there. So go over, give them some heat. Talk about how Michigan is going to finish better than Oregon, Kentucky, and Virginia
Well,
Tech.
that's a
That's a
no-brainer.
given.
Uh,
But but anyway, yeah, go ahead and check over
all right.
Racer Productions as well as Phil. Not this weekend, but next week, we will be live for the NFL Draft first round with our buddy Phil on Week Zero Productions. So be ready for that. Be on the lookout for that, and come join us while we get schooled
45
on
14. You had to say it twice.
some why Michigan should have 8 first round picks.
Absolutely. In fact, everybody who left Michigan last year should be a first round
Even the
draft
guys
pick,
on the
and I can make
bench.
the argument.
Even the guys on the bench, right, Phil?
Absolutely. Uh, the best athletes go to
The
Michigan. It's
water boy. That water boy
undeniable.
should be getting a good
He's an athlete. You seen him? Uh, moving along though, let's talk a little bit about Michigan recruiting, and then we'll move on to
Okay.
ESPN and their blasphemy. ESPN, by the way, and I used to be a fan of ESPN. Michael
Don't take
Campbell
ESPN seriously,
can
man. Don't
actually
take
tell you
it.
this. I used to argue down ESPN's legitimacy with their college football recruiting. I thought it was the Bible. All right, I was that
Hmm.
person at one point. However, ESPN is a joke,
Yep.
and they prove it year after year. This FPI thing, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Let's talk about Michigan recruiting. Good news for Michigan football, and emphasis on Michigan football because Michigan basketball is in shambles. I'll get into that in a second. Michigan football um, is setting up official visits with the number one recruit in the entire country in 2025. If you saw my video yesterday, then you already know that David Sanders, the offensive tackle for Providence Day School in Charlotte, North Carolina, Providence Day School, of course, where five-star quarterback Jaden Davis went, and he has been dubbed the bodyguard of Jaden Davis. He's the Kevin Costner of offensive tackles. All right, I want you to, and he's going to be visiting Michigan in June. He had great things to say about Michigan, so I'm excited about that. In addition to that, Tiandre, that's a heck of a name, I know. Tiandre Waverly, the number two tight end in the 2025 class, will also be visiting Michigan for the game, though. He wants to come and do a visit for the game. He was just there about 2 weeks ago. Loved everything about the program. Michigan tight end recruiting is off the chain, by the way. However, and this is to my Michigan guys who probably didn't know this. And again, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share the live. Um, there is Colston, not Colston Loveland. Oh man, Hogan, Hogan Hansen or Hansen Hogan. You guys know who I'm talking about. The tight end. He's committed to Michigan. He has taken visits to Miami, and I do believe he is going to be taking another visit here shortly. And I'll update that on my next video that I drop probably tomorrow. So Michigan isn't, impervious to uh, a decommitment. And I'm not saying that that is on the horizon. I'm just letting you know that people are taking visits, and that's to be expected, man. It's kind of early still. People want to take those visits. They want to see other programs, so I expect that. Just like there will be people visiting Michigan that are committed elsewhere, including, by the way, another five-star number two linebacker in the country in the class of 2024 who goes to Buford High School in Georgia, where 2025 Michigan commit. and linebacker. Mantrez Harrell also attends. He will be visiting Michigan in short time with Mantrez Harrell, so it
Who is
should
that?
be very interesting. I forget this kid's name. It's Polaret Pilot.
Oh, I was gonna ask you by
Pilot.
the way, because I also seen
He's
because
a Georgia commit.
Notre Dame beat writers were talking about Notre Dame's linebacker board.
Yes.
Darian Mayo, I'm surprised you didn't bring that up. Listed his
Oh,
four official visits. Notre Dame was not one of them. So
yes.
bye bye Darian Mayo.
You know who was last? And this is really exciting. Michigan pretty much is about to blow the doors off of 2024 recruiting. Where's Michael Campbell? I haven't seen you
Oh, Aaron
in these
Chili's.
comments.
Aaron Chili's is also going to be Notre Dame or Michigan. Michigan.
Exactly. And they're going they both set up their last visit with Michigan, their last OV with Michigan on the same day. We're probably going to get that commitment from both of them on the same day. I am in discussion myself with Mama Childs. It's not Chili's, it's Childs, Aaron Childs. I am in discussion with Mama Childs trying to set up that interview. So Michigan fans
Oh
pray
my!
for that. We'll
If
have
you
a
get
live
him
interview
on, if you
with
get him on, Phil,
Childs.
let me on, bro, because I need to ask this kid why not Notre Dame.
Well, I mean, it's pretty apparent, but
No,
that
man, but for real,
is
like let me know whenever you're interviewing him, and try to get him on for this show. It'd be cool to
no,
have
for
some
sure,
fan
for sure,
interacting.
and yeah, I definitely will. And I don't want to put that into the atmosphere like we have it locked up, but we are trying to set that up. I want to let everybody know that. So we'll have some live interviews here coming up shortly. I'm in talks with not just Mr. Childs, but some other Michigan prospects, targets, and even current players. So keep it locked. We are moving on up. All right, let's move. Let's move along, man. Let's talk about ESPN and their blasphemy. Did you happen to see the FPI rankings?
All I know is I saw LSU and Texas in the top five, and I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Um, so
Man.
F ESPN released their annual, FPI rankings, whatever, and they had the other state of all the teams. The other state was number one.
Oof.
It's disrespectful, all right, and I mean this respectfully. It's disrespectful, all right. Don't be disrespectful. We own that team currently, right? We're beating them by an average of 20 points. It's disgusting that you would have that team number one when
It's because,
Michigan
Phil,
is
they
in
love
the
Ohio State.
conference, not just in the conference, we're in that on that side of the conference. They have to come to the big house this year where it may be snowing. Who knows? And let's say it doesn't snow. Let's say it's a bright, beautiful day. We beat them on bright, beautiful days too. I don't know the conditions at which the other state can beat Michigan at this point because it seems impossible. FPI rankings based off a 3-year window. Yeah, and they got it wrong because
Let me say
the
this
last
really
2 years, 2 out of 3 years, we are the winning team. But go ahead, Ryan.
The fact that they have well, let's just say this. They have Texas in it every year. Texas is like a top 5 FPI team every year because for
Which is
whatever
also
reason,
ridiculous. I think they were number
ESPN,
5.
bro, ESPN might as well change their logo to a freaking Longhorn at this point because they love Texas every year. And every year, what happens to Texas, Phil?
Every year they disappoint.
Yes, or they underachieve.
They're captain underachieving. It's
Like,
like they're the leaders of underachieving.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what people see about Texas, and I definitely don't see what people see about LSU.
Well,
LSU is good. LSU is good, but top 5 good. Did you just not
Yes.
see what? Did you not just see what happened when they went to Tennessee? They got drug. They got absolutely drug.
one team all season went to Tennessee and didn't get beat. One team.
And they got drugged by Georgia too. Tennessee was at least competitive against Georgia.
Well, were they?
It was 28-14 is competitive.
I mean, yeah, but that we know that score could have been worse than 28-14. But the final score is the final score. I get it. But they were getting beat worse
I
than
mean,
28 to
listen to
14.
LSU had 4 losses last year.
Yeah,
Florida State, Tennessee,
which is a legit team.
Georgia. I mean, Florida State,
It's
top
Florida
25
State.
team. Top 25 team.
Uh, uh, I saw that this was a live that I or a Spaces, a Twitter Spaces conversation. What is the best team in Florida right now?
Florida State.
Florida
Or, no,
State.
no, 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 no. Central Florida. UCF.
Brian, look at my face.
Hey, man,
Florida
the
State
2018,
is
the
the class
2018
of the
national
state of
champs,
Florida.
man. 2018 national champs.
2018 national champs, no doubt. But Florida State beat Miami last year. They beat Florida last year. They are clearly the best team in the state of Florida right now. That being said, losing to the best team in Florida isn't that bad. LSU lost to the best team in Florida.
Who else is in Florida, though?
UCF,
Florida.
according to you.
Florida. But no, man, I'm looking through this list,
Miami
okay?
Central High School.
So, so let me give it, because we could go through this really quick.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and give my top 10 for what the ranking should be
Okay.
for next year. So I think obviously, I think anytime you're the defending champs, you should just get the number one ranking, just because I think you should be, if you win it, it's like, oh, you're the defending champs, so you got to defend the number one, the number one ranked team in the country. You got to defend that ranking.
Okay.
So I think Georgia goes 1. I think not Alabama. I think Michigan goes 2. I think Ohio State goes 3. I have Bama 4. Then I have oh god, I'm going through this really quick. I have not Penn State. Who am I missing? Oh, I have Tennessee at 5. I think I would have USC at 6, Oregon at 7. I'm gonna have Penn State at 8. Actually, no, Penn State and Oregon will flip. So put Penn State at 7, Oregon 8. 9, I'm gonna have Utah, and then at 10, that's where I'm gonna have TCU. I think that's what my top 10 would be, because I think you have to give credit to what
include USC
teams
in
did
that?
last year. I did. USC was
include
at
USC?
6. Yes, they were at 6.
Okay. All right.
So and then if I'm going
I
on
was
the
doing
outside, I think Notre Dame and Clemson, I think, are 11 and 12.
Of course, you think Notre Dame is 11.
Well, because we beat Clemson.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. I would have Michigan at number 1, and this is not a homer pick. I do believe Michigan this year is the best team in college football coming into week 0. That's
But you
my
also,
opinion.
Phil, you've got to project what you think ESPN will do. ESPN will not do that.
Yeah, well, the ESPN is being co-opted, so I'm not. I got Michigan at number 1. I got Georgia at number 2. I got Alabama at number 3.
Ooh, over Ohio State.
Over the other state for sure. We don't say Ohio on this channel. I then have the other state at number 4. I'll be fair to the other state and place them at number 4. I'm gonna put USC at number 5, and I'll tell you why. And it's because I don't expect anybody in the conference to challenge them. If I'm being honest,
Oregon?
you think Oregon's gonna challenge
Yes.
them?
Oregon would have went 11 or 12
Well, I
and 1
forgot
last
about.
year.
You're right. Look, Bo Nix.
Ballin'.
Let's talk about Bo Nix really fast. Bo Nix, who is a 16-year senior, right? Who has played for every college football team in FBS, right? He deserves a bit of
Auburn.
right. He deserves a little bit of latitude, and I mean, he's seen all the defenses possible, right? He's played. He's been playing since, he's been playing a long time. Is the point? And Oregon, sure, maybe, but I'm going to put USC at number 5. Keep USC at number 5. I'm
Let
going
me
to put
say this.
USC at number 5.
This is why I think Oregon will, because I have Oregon winning the Pac-12 this year. Utah is going to have to replace a lot. They lost Cam Rising. Actually, no, Cam Rising's coming back. My bad.
You put Utah in the top 10, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Do you think how good do you think Washington will be?
Michael Penix is coming back, right?
He's a beast, yes.
Okay. I don't know, man. Their defense is the question. Because their defense can't stop it. It's the same thing with UCLA. They can score with pretty much anybody,
I
but their
can't put
defense.
TCU in the top 10. TCU's going to fall off. I agree with you.
I don't know, man. They got a bunch of transfers in. That quarterback they got is also really good. But let me say this. I have Bo Nix in my Heisman race for next year.
Okay.
If you look at his stats last year, he was up there with Caleb Williams, and he was. My thing with Oregon should have been in the playoff last year. They would have been in the playoff last year if Bo Nix didn't get injured against Washington. If Bo Nix doesn't get injured against Washington, and he's healthy going into that Oregon State game, and finishes out that Washington game, I think Oregon goes 12-1 and wins the Pac-12. Because if you remember, with a healthy Bo Nix, they beat Utah. So, I think Bo Nix is going to take that next step this year. I think he's going to. I said he's going to finish top 3 in the Heisman voting. I think he's going to ball out. I think Oregon wins the Pac-12. And I didn't know if I told you this, but I actually came out because we're doing our conference, which we're going to have you on for the Big Ten stream.
Look at this.
It's going to beat Ohio State. They should have beat them last year. Damn right, Antoine. Damn right. But really quick, for anyone watching, along with what we're doing with Phil on draft night, over at We Start Productions, we're going to be doing a conference by conference breakdown, division by division breakdown. So we're going to start from the worst conference to the best, Power 5. I'm not going to give you that specific order right now because I'm not going to have Phil go off on how good the Big Ten is as a conference. But anyway, so Phil, we're going to have you on for the Big Ten one because we're going to go in depth on each division, each team, record predictions as well. But early on through doing mine, my playoff, based off of what I have right now, is I have number 1 Tennessee. Number 1 team in the country, I think. With that,
Did you say Tennessee?
Tennessee. This isn't just me just spitting this out. I did an in-depth look at Tennessee's schedule. I did an in-depth look at who they've got returning, who they've got coming in, recruiting-wise. Georgia has a lot of question marks right now. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Alabama's in the same situation as well. They've got that kid who doesn't have a lot of experience. So I think Tennessee goes 13-0. I think they win the East. I think they beat LSU in the SEC title. So I have Tennessee at number 1. I have Michigan at number 2, who I also think goes 13-0, wins the Big Ten for the 3rd straight year. Number 3, I have 12-1 Oregon, Pac-12 champs at number 3. And then at 4, I have 11-1 Notre Dame with a loss to Clemson on the road, 31-28. So that's who I have as my top 4 for the playoff next year. Way too early, but that's who I have.
So top 4, way too early. Obviously, I got Michigan at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
No homer. Like I said, Michigan's going to be the best team in college football next year. In my opinion, we're returning something like 80% of our production, and development is a thing at Michigan. So I got Michigan number 1. I got Georgia number 2. I don't see a challenge for them.
What's the record though? 13-0?
No, I don't think they will be 13-0. I think they're gonna lose to. Do they play LSU in the regular season?
No. Georgia
All right.
has a really easy schedule.
All
Their
right. So I
toughest
take back
game.
Georgia. Georgia's not number two because I
Let me
do
say
think
this,
they're gonna
Phil.
lose.
Georgia. Let me go through their schedule. Georgia's toughest game on their schedule is Tennessee. They don't
Right.
have to play Alabama. They don't have to play LSU.
Yeah, they're gonna
The
run through the
toughest.
East.
Yeah. So
South Carolina, though, like I said in a previous show, I do expect them to be a tough out.
they're going to be improved, much improved.
Yeah. So I think, um, man, I guess I will put Georgia back then because nobody's going to beat them in the East. I got Georgia at number two. I think they lose a game though, and it may be the SEC
So
championship
it
game.
doesn't matter to you that Georgia Tennessee game is at Tennessee.
It doesn't. Wasn't it just that? No, it was
No, it
at
was at
Georgia.
Georgia.
It was at Georgia last year. It doesn't. I don't think. I've seen. I've seen
Is it
that
just because you
quarterback.
hate Joe Milton?
It's
Is
very
that
much because I hate Joe Milton. It is absolutely got
so? You
everything to
wouldn't
do
want
with
your
my
man to
hate of Joe Milton.
succeed?
No, look, I want Joe Milton to be successful. I just don't think Joe Milton is capable of being successful.
He was
So
Orange Bowl MVP. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
that's a different kind of success. I'm talking about start to finish. He might not even make it to game 5 as the starting quarterback. I'm going to be honest with you. So yeah, they're not gonna beat Georgia. Georgia number 2. I got USC number 3.
I have
The
USC losing two
quarterback
games.
they have the best quarterback in college football.
No, 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 no. Drake May is better. Let's not go there. Drake May is better.
He's not better.
He is better.
He's not better. He's certainly not more dangerous. Drake May is a good quarterback.
I'm gonna pull up USC schedule because I need to see who they play. So they're gonna lose to Notre Dame. So that's a given.
You got to stop it.
So they play. Oh my God, did they get a cupcake schedule? Oh, they get San Jose State, Nevada, Stanford, Arizona State, Colorado, Arizona. So they
In
literally
the comment
play.
section, let us know who are your top 4 teams this upcoming season. Who do you think will make
Not to begin the
college
season,
football
but who you
playoff?
guys
Not to
have
begin
finishing in the
season. Who
playoff?
do you think makes the college football playoff? All right, so I
Um,
got USC number 3.
Ooh, but look at their stretch to end the season,
What if
Phil.
Texas wins?
Phil, listen to this. This is USC's last 6 games to end the season. This is
Okay.
brutal.
Okay.
At Notre Dame versus Utah.
Okay.
At California, that's probably a win. But then they got to play Washington,
That's
at
tough.
Oregon, and UCLA. They play Washington, Oregon, UCLA, Notre Dame, and Utah 5 out of the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's rough. I'm not sure they can survive that unscathed. I'm going to take back USC. Give me
Yeah,
USC back.
that might be with the toughest schedule to end the season any team has.
Do they play Colorado this
They do. They do. And they play at Colorado.
they're gonna hang 60 on Colorado. Book it.
I'm so excited to do the Pac-12 and to have the Colorado fans come in there and start saying about how they're going to be 13-0.
Well, they're not gonna
And-
do that this year. I do expect Colorado next year though. They might be a force. And I'm not talking about like challenging for the national championship force, but a force in the Pac-12 or with whatever's left of it, because I'm not sure what's going to be there.
Colorado's going to go 5-7. I'm just saying that right now. 5-7 is what Colorado will go this year.
I'm gonna pick Florida State to make the college football playoff. I said it.
Ooh. So you have them to be basically taking the mantle back from Clemson.
I do, and I think that's going to happen. Florida State in the college football playoff. They're my number 3 because I'm taking USC out.
Okay.
Florida State is my number 3, and then I want to say Texas. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to say it. I think if you guys beat Ohio State, the other state, if you win that game, you can be there. Give me Notre Dame at number 4. All right.
Really quick, by
Only
the way,
because I want to see Michigan destroy Notre Dame.
you do know Florida State plays LSU, right?
Yeah. I expect
First
them
game
to
of the
win that
year.
game. Yeah,
Oh, you do. Okay.
yeah. That one's in
Um,
Orlando, right?
yep.
Yeah, they're gonna win that
So
game.
I'm going through Colorado's schedule. They play at TCU week 1. That's a loss. Um, they play Nebraska. I don't know how good Nebraska's going to be next year.
Texas, man, you got all the names in there. Look at the names right here. This right here would probably be the most watched college football playoff of all time. Otis
I
Jr.
don't think
here.
Texas is that. I don't know. Texas, they always choke. Like, what did they go? Didn't they go like 9-4 this year? I think. Yeah. I don't know. But really quick, who would you take, Colorado or Nebraska?
Nebraska. Right now, today.
Okay, and that game is in Colorado. That doesn't sway anything.
Let me hey, let me take that back because I do think Shador Sanders is the real deal. He can sling it. Give me Colorado. And
Okay, so
they got
Colorado
I think
starts the
Colorado.
year 1-1.
So
So
who's the first game?
first game's at TCU.
Yeah, that's a loss.
So they start the season 1-1. Then they get Colorado State. That's a win.
Right.
So 2-1 at Oregon. That's a loss.
That's a loss.
So that's 2-2 in Deion Sanders' first season.
Mm-hmm.
Then they play USC. That's a loss.
That's a loss.
2-3 at Arizona State.
That's a loss.
That's a loss.
Didn't Arizona
Two-
State get?
Drew Pine, yeah.
And
So
they
yeah,
also got the kid who transferred from Florida. Was it Florida?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be really good, but
Yeah,
so
but
they're
he's
2
probably
and
not going
4.
to start.
2-4. Then they
Colorado
play
going
Stanford.
Stanford is a win.
That's a win. 3-4. Then they play at UCLA. 3-5.
Yeah.
Then they play Oregon State. 3-6. Jesus Christ.
You don't think they'll beat Oregon State?
Oregon State, no. You didn't see who they got? They got DJ.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, so.
I can't.
But I
pull up the
do
rest of the
expect
schedule.
Oregon State to win that game.
And then, why is that doing that? There's no way that's their final game. What? Okay, this is. Let me pull up their actual schedule.
Real quick, while he's doing that, I see some other top fours.
Okay. So,
Michigan, Bama, USC, other state,
so I got to pull it up. So after Oregon State,
and you get extra points. I'm guessing that's Jorge. You get bonus points for using the other state. Michigan, Bama, Florida State. Yeah, Florida State. I think
Ooh.
Florida State's gonna be in there too.
okay, so I got the rest of their schedule. So after they play Oregon State, they're 3-6. They get Arizona at home. Arizona was much improved last year. They were 5-7 after going 1-11, and they have that Delgado kid who's really good.
Mm-hmm.
That
Awesome.
I'll give Colorado the nod there, but that
And
could
where's the game at?
at Colorado.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give Colorado the nod.
So 4-6. Then they got to play at Washington State.
That's a win.
That's a
They
lot.
can win that.
Cameron Ward is still at Washington State.
Yeah.
That's a loss. So that's 4-7.
So 4-8. They're going 4-8.
And they play at Utah to end the year. Ooh. That's brutal. That is
They'll be about
brutal.
4-8.
Yeah, man.
It's rough, man. It's not going to be easy, but I do think give them a year. They'll be.
But for Colorado fans to think, oh, it's
7-5.
national championship now, they're like, come on, man. Like, you don't
Yeah.
you don't
National
go from 1-11
championship
to national championship.
isn't even in their vocabulary. Colorado shouldn't be saying words
No,
like
man. National
and
championship shouldn't even be a word in any of their dictionaries in the state of Colorado. It shouldn't even be in the surrounding states of Colorado. Like, that's how far they are from a national championship. Yeah, did you see their spring practice video on Twitter?
I saw some. I saw
Oh
some.
my God, Phil! They look like they're practicing on a high school field. Did you see their offensive line?
Are you talking
How
about Colorado?
skinny? Yes.
Their
Did
indoor
you see?
practice?
No, they're outdoor.
Oh, I didn't see the outdoor. I saw
Did
the
you
indoor.
see
Their
how
indoor
skinny?
facility looks pretty good.
Did you see how skinny their offensive linemen are and how
I
small?
did, and yeah,
Dude, they are gonna get absolutely cooked if that's the offensive line they put out there.
this right here, two SEC teams, two Big Ten teams. I don't think this is gonna happen, but this would be interesting. Um, because there's no way that the other conferences would have a fit if two SEC teams and two Big Ten teams made up the 14 playoff. They would probably implode. They cry.
People would complain. That's what would
Yeah,
happen.
for sure. Um.
But
So yeah. If you're in here and you haven't, make sure you like the live, share it to your friends. Drop a comment. Leave your comments. We're trying to get to all the comments.
yep. Real
Um.
quick, pull up our boy Eddie. Colorado can always try to dress Ralphie up in a uniform and claim she's a running back transfer from Birmingham Young. Who would know?
Birmingham Young. It's Brigham Young.
Or Brigham Young, my bad.
Birmingham Young.
Zach Wilson University.
Right.
Man,
Poor Zach Wilson. It's a wrap for him, man. Using these
honest,
little
just
teams
using-
for clout.
it's like it was
Oh,
funny because
man.
people were in the comments. I saw one where it was like they were watching that video I told you about where the offensive line were really small and tiny and skinny. People said Dion trying to hide the fact that his offensive line is a bunch of scrubs he picked off the streets of Colorado.
Damn.
And by just saying, "Hey, look, this is Travis Walker catching a pass."
Travis Hunter. Look, so real fast, let's end the show like this. I want everybody. How many losses do you think Notre Dame is going to have this upcoming season?
So
Ryan, let's start with you.
my ceiling, I have them 12-0. I think that's the highest they can go in terms of regular season. The floor, I think, is 9-3, but my prediction is somewhere in the middle. I think it's either 10-2 or 11-1. I'm banking on the 11-1 because I'm not scared of USC. I'm not scared of Ohio State, and I'm not scared of Clemson. Those are the three.
Which one gives you the most pause? Which one are you worried the most about? What team?
Probably Clemson, only because not because they have the dudes, but because it's on the road at Clemson, and it's most likely going to be a night game at Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Clemson's home field is; it's
Mm-hmm.
really hard to win there. So I don't think Notre Dame's won there ever. Now they haven't played Clemson too many times, but so I don't know. I think that's the one that gives me the most worry, just because it's on the road. But I like that Notre Dame this year they get all their tough games at home, most of them, except Clemson. And out of three teams, I think Clemson's the worst out of Ohio State, USC, and Clemson. So I think 11-1 is doable.
This got y'all at 10-2.
But I think for me, for it to be a successful season for Notre Dame, it's New Year's Six or bust. You have to win a New Year's
says
Six.
11-1 for you guys. Michael? What team are you most worried about this season? I'll give you mine. I think Michigan goes 12-0 in the regular season.
What is your
most-
floor? What's your floor?
The floor, I think, is 10-2.
With losses to the other state and Penn State? Or is it...
Yeah, that probably.
To me,
yeah.
I looked at your schedule.
I'm
The
most
only
concerned
game,
about Penn State. I've said that before.
the only game that worries me on your guys' schedule is Penn State.
Yeah, because we got to go to
To
Happy
Penn
Valley
State, yeah.
or whatever it's called. It's stupid Happy Valley in College Station Park, whatever it is. They're stupid. In a whiteout. That's the problem. It's going to be a whiteout for sure. They're going to be loud. The year we played them a year, it was so loud. When we had the quarterback that I hate. A lot of
Shea
Michigan guys
Patterson.
like him. Shea Patterson. I hate Shea Patterson with every fiber in my being. A lot of fans like Shea Patterson. I'm not one of them. We It was so loud though that you couldn't hear yourself thinking there. I expect Happy Valley Ranch. I expect another atmosphere like that one for sure. Um, but I think the ceiling is obviously undefeated with a trip to the national championship.
Wow. Our buddy Brano 2 times said, I'll be in Death Valley for that Notre Dame game in Michigan gear. That's
Shout
just
out to
weird, man.
Brando. I like
That's
that.
just
No,
weird.
I went to so a couple of years ago, man, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. The other state played Rutgers at Rutgers. I went to that game, Michigan clad. It was a beautiful time. It was the
Oh
year
my
that
god.
the year Baker Mayfield put the beat the other state, put the planted the flag
That's
on
like
the
me
yelp.
going to an Illinois and Virginia game wearing Notre Dame gear and people heckling me
Right.
because we lost to Marshall that day.
Oh, see, that's instant karma right there. You got, you got it quickly.
Oh.
A lot of comments coming in. Michigan will smash Penn State and the Suck Guys. We win in the Natty. Shout out to Dion for sure.
I don't know about that.
Now we definitely win in the Natty. It's
But you know
coming
what we do
coming
need?
back to A2.
We need a Michigan Notre Dame national championship. That's what we need.
Yeah, I spoke about that, man. I think it'll be the most highly watched
The
game
butt
of all time.
guys.
I like it.
Really quick before we get out of here, for all
Yeah.
my Michigan fans that are in the chat, we all hate the other state. What's the score prediction for the Notre Dame other state game? Phil, you can go ahead if you want to. What's your score prediction?
Man, I wish both of you could lose 38-0. And I know it's not possible, unfortunately. So, because the other state is really pissing me off lately on Twitter, um, I'm gonna go with who's gonna be Sam Hartman gonna be the quarterback?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna pick you guys 27 to 17.
Oh, you're gonna make me suffer through a tight game? It's not gonna be a blowout? Come on, man.
Nah, I think at some point you'll be up 27-10. They score a late touchdown, 27-17. Did you see their quarterback in the spring game? And I know it's a spring game.
Oh, the guy that Ohio State fans think is gonna be the next.
Right.
Oh, no. Ohio State fans say this Brown kid is better than C.J. Stroud.
Did they say that?
Yes.
49?
Let me say this really quick, and tell me that you guys will get a kick out of this. I had Ohio State fans on Twitter telling me that this this McCord kid is already, as of right now. This was even before the spring game. Was a top 5 quarterback in college football.
They were saying McCourtis?
Yes.
Oh, yo, I saw that. That's one of those. That's one of the threads where they were
Oh
writing into you and
my
Mike.
Oh my
McCourt
God,
keeps
man.
playing this bad. I'll say 31-27.
But
McCourt's
no,
pretty
man.
bad.
McCord, they're Ohio State fans are hyping this man up to be the next
Bro, see,
better than C.J. Stroud.
come on. Somebody has to stop this man.
Well,
here.
no, I already. Well, let me go through mine really quick because
40 points a game.
I did a whole Notre Dame regular season breakdown, and I went through and did scores for each one. So this is let's see, Where's that at?
Sly 142. Shout out to my guy.
So
Make
this
sure
is
you
what
like
I
the
have.
live. We were
So
pretty consistent today about
for my prediction, I
5
had
people in here.
so game 1 Notre Dame at Navy. That's a
Okay.
win. I have Notre Dame winning 49-10.
Oh, you got the scores and everything. All right,
Yes,
let's go.
Notre Dame versus Tennessee State, 63-6. Notre
Tennessee
Dame.
State,
Yeah.
63-6.
Notre Dame at North Carolina State, 38-24. Notre Dame versus Central Michigan, 56-13. Notre Dame versus Ohio State, I have us winning 42-35. Notre Dame at Duke, 45-28. Notre Dame at Louisville, 35-21. Notre Dame versus USC, I have it a high scoring affair, 52-49 Notre Dame.
And that's again, you said against who?
USC. I don't think
Okay.
either defense will really be able to stop anybody. I think Notre Dame just gets it done because they get the ball last and kick a field goal to win.
Davis Ward, get out.
Notre Dame versus Pitt. I have Notre Dame winning that 31-21. Notre Dame at Clemson. I have us losing 31-28. Notre Dame versus Wake, 56-21. Notre Dame.
Damn it.
Notre Dame at Stanford, 49-17. Win.
Well, here we go again. Here we go. You played 6 games. You didn't average 40. And then on the backside, you averaged 40. I mean, okay, but you didn't average 40.
Let me just say that Sam Hartman averages like 47 points a game when
You think
he's
he's
a
going to do
starter.
that?
Notre Dame's offensive line is a hell of a lot better.
Let's make some bets.
No. I'm not going to say Notre Dame averages 40 because
Okay.
for any college team to average 40, that's a lot. Like that's
I mean,
probably
you got to be like Michigan in 2022. To do
Oh,
that.
okay. You quit. Stop it. But none of you guys will talk about the fact that you guys lost 38-0. Okay.
I don't remember that.
I do.
I don't recall that.
When you had good old Shoelace and
No, I wasn't playing quarterback that game.
2014? Yes, he was. Or was
No,
that Devin Gardner?
It was Devin Gardner.
Yeah, he
Shoelace
got
was
pick
coming
6
off
to
an
the
injury.
house.
Right.
He got pick 6 to the house.
Yeah. I'm starting.
And then we played the chicken dance song.
First of all, Denard Robinson would have never lost 38-0.
But he lost to Manti Te'o. He lost to a guy that didn't even have a real girlfriend.
I'm not. You said that, not me. It'd be your own guys, man.
Yeah, we did. Well, no, okay. 31-0 because the refs didn't count the pick 6 at the last play of the game. That should have counted.
Watch OSU in that transfer portal.
Watch Kyle McCord transfer to Michigan.
Michigan's beaten Notre Dame 38-0 twice.
When?
That doesn't matter when. We did it.
Are we talking about 1930s? Because that don't count.
It counts to us. It all goes in the record books. Look at those. Look at that record, man.
But the number
Dominating
I'm more worried
Notre
about.
Dame.
The number I'm worried about is the 9-8 since 2000.
I mean, we are still up. Either way you sliced it, Michigan.
Wait, when does
wins.
Notre Dame play Michigan again? Is that even scheduled?
It's like 20-35 or something like that.
We need it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Mike. Just know it happened, and it happened twice.
Oh God. 2023 and 2020, or no, 2033 and 2034.
Yeah. You guys ran away from the comp, man.
No, we didn't. You guys did.
You have to stop saying that.
You guys did.
Was it us or did the ACC make you stop playing Michigan?
No. What happened is the ACC said we had to schedule at least 6 games against
Right.
ACC opponents.
Right. Which
have
means
to
there's
have
6
our
other
one-
games and
5
Michigan
other.
should have been.
But the thing is, Notre Dame has to look at it like that. They rotate their rivalry games. That's why we don't play Purdue and Michigan State every year.
You play USC every year.
That's different. because USC is a bigger rival than Michigan.
I mean, I'm not arguing it. I'm just saying. Um,
Like,
it,
I'll be
it-
honest, Phil. Like, I hate USC more than I hate Michigan. I
yeah,
hate
and I
Michigan State more than I hate Michigan.
really you hate Michigan State?
Yes. Oh my God,
So,
Michigan State fans are
well, their
oh.
fans are the worst. Lil Bro them does not know how to accept that they're Lil
This
Bro
is
them.
all they do. This is all they do.
Yeah, yeah. But I hate the other state more than I hate Notre Dame, right?
Yep.
Now you guys are second for me at least, because I don't even count Lil Bro them. You know, we deal with them when we get to them. You know, when your little brother like takes your basketball or something outside, loses
Okay.
it, we spank them when we catch up with them. That's it, right?
Okay. Can we all talk about the fact that when Notre Dame plays them in
Watch
those
Notre
years,
Dame cancel.
Jim Harbaugh will be retired by then.
He probably will.
So, and Marcus
With
Freeman will
five
be like
natties,
will be in his 40s, and we'll have like a couple natties.
you'll have a what?
We'll have like 4 or 5 natties by then.
I want you to stop it too. On that note, I think it's time for us to bid you all adieu. I would give out some Triple M shout outs, but this isn't the show for it. Ryan, what's coming up next for you?
Like I said, doing a lot of conference breakdowns. So go ahead and check that out. Our buddy Phil, he'll be over there for the Big Ten one when we do that. Don't forget, for the first round of the NFL draft, Phil will be over there. So all you guys, the Triple M family, come over there, give us, we'll watch.
I am Phil, by the way. I don't know if
Yeah,
people, because I always put up
Maize
the-
Madman. Yeah, my boy Phil here, Maize
Yeah.
Madman. Triple M, he will be over there during the first round of the NFL draft. So come over there and help him school us on the fact that Michigan should have all 31 NFL first round draft picks and why.
Right.
And if you guys can name them, that would be even better. I know that water boy might be a top 5 pick.
Right.
I'm just saying, and they got Anthony Richardson as the number 1 overall pick. I don't know, man. That water boy is an athlete. That dude can flat out play.
He is. He's built like a brick wall.
He's not a bona fide scrub.
Oh, that was hilarious, by the way. That's great stuff you guys were doing over there. All right, so follow me on Twitter at Maize Madman. You see it scrolling across the bottom. You can follow Ryan at Fravel Ryan. Be sure to like and share the video. I appreciate everyone who is in here today. We were as lit as we've been. Let's keep growing this. Every Wednesday we will be here. I will be live again Friday with one of Ryan's week 0 friends, Lucas. He is an Oregon fan. I'll be schooling Oregon and the Ducks and their fans on this thing called college football. So check that out Friday, same bat time. Actually, we are on at 5 Eastern, right here on the Maize Madman channel. Expect another upload from me tonight or tomorrow. So until next time, stay angry, my friends, because I'm upset.